So, I'm back home from college. I finished my final yesterday at 7 a.m. and I had to pack up everything in my dorm and then move back home. And that was pretty much exhausting. So, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I'm not really here, but in the moment, I wanted to talk about some books that I got at a thrift store that I went to today in downtown. So yeah, let's talk about it because I got four exciting and beautiful books for $6.25 in total. First book I got was Tuesdays with Maury. This was $1, so what a steal because I've been wanting to read this book specifically by Mitch Albom because I'm trying to look for the other books that I have that I've read by Mitch Albom, but so wait, let's see. Where is it? What the heck? Did I lose it? What the heck? That's weird. Oh, it's in here somewhere. I read The Five People You Meet in Heaven, and I cried reading it. I just think it's a beautiful book, and he is a man that can write beautiful words. So yeah, and this book, when I got it, it sparked a conversation between me and the cashier, and he was like, "I read this in high school. It'll make you cry. Be prepared." And I was like, "I am prepared, sir. I'm very prepared. So thank you for the warning." But I've read a couple of his books, and I know how emotional they can get. So next book I got is When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. I was recommended this book a lot, especially as someone who's interested in medicine, but I didn't realize how emotional just the author's story was because I thought the story that he wrote in this book was emotional. I didn't inherently think that what made the story emotional was because of the author's story. He was a renowned neurosurgeon who was diagnosed with lung cancer. I think it was like stage 5 lung cancer. By the time he was 35, he had a wife, and he kind of was at a crossroad of his life where he had to choose whether he wanted to practice as a doctor for the remaining time he had left, or become an author, or have a child. And he did all three, which is super sick and cool. But his living legacy is in this book, and so I think A, it's going to be very insightful, and B, it's probably also going to make me cry too. So there's that, and that book was $2. When I saw this book, I was super excited. I gasped. I was like, oh my gosh. I've wanted to read this for so long. I really wanted to read the physical copy of this book because it's so beautiful, but also because I feel like there would be so many passages and sentences I would love to underline because I've heard many great things about this book from the different women in my life. And I really like feminist literature, especially in like a dystopian setting. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood was another great novel I really, really liked. And just dystopian genres specifically, I very much fancy. So I was really excited to see that this book was on the shelves because I feel like this is so popular. A lot of people aren't willingly giving this up as a donation, but it was brand new because like look how beautifully well kept she is. No wrinkle, no dog-eared pages. Like she's stiff and she's perfect, and this is only $2, so I was floored. I was like, wow, today's a great day. So yeah. Last but not least, all-time American classic, Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. I read like 20 pages of this in my senior year of high school for American Lit. Our teacher, I really don't recall what happened, but he was like, hey guys, we're not actually going to finish this book in time. So we moved on, which was really sad because, yes, it was really difficult reading the first few parts of the book. Like, I was constantly trying to dissect what he was trying to say because he has a way of writing words, people, the setting, concepts, just thoughts into such depth and beauty and mysticism almost. I don't really know if I'm describing it or putting it to justice, but there is a reason why this book is so renowned and loved, because it shares a lot about what it's like being black in America, but also during that time in the 1950s. And it's still relatable. Of course, it's still relatable today in our world, in our society, in America, and even in other places. But yeah, there's just something so magical about Ellison. And now that I'm older and a bit more mature, and now that I have all this time in the summer, I'm so excited to go and read this book because it's pretty thick. This is a thick boy, and I can tell that he's lived a life because the pages are kind of yellowing on the edges, and it's, I don't know if it's been in water or something, but like the pages are kind of battered and crispy, like when you dry like a piece of paper after it's been wet, you know how it like folds on the edges. This is what this book has gone through. And oh my gosh, look at the time. I booked a movie ticket today to go watch The Materialist by myself because I like being by myself and it's also summer. And so I'm gonna go do that now. But thank you for watching my short book talk. I don't know what I'm gonna call this, but yeah, and if you're a college student in the summer, go have fun, do something that you love, and something that grounds you again, because I feel like in the summertime it's so easy to just stay stagnant and go back to your own ways of when you were a child. Maybe you're relapsing into the teenager you left behind when you left for college. I'm really scared that I am gonna end up doing that, so I'm trying to do everything I can to experience new things, go on adventure, and I don't know, dive into hobbies and other beautiful aspects of life that are still ahead of us. So, bye!